In the heart of a bustling city, there was a man named Daniel who spent his days sitting near the main bus terminal. He wasn't homeless, but he lived in extreme poverty and survived by asking strangers for spare change. Every morning, Daniel would sit in his usual spot with an empty tin can, waiting for commuters to drop a few coins. Most people ignored him. Some gave him a coin, and a few gave him a kind smile. This was his life, every single day. One Monday morning, Daniel noticed a well-groomed man in a sharp suit walking by. He looked important, like a businessman. Daniel quickly held out his tin and said, "Sir, could you spare some change?" The man stopped, looked at him with calm eyes, and said, "Friend, tell me something. All these days you've been asking others to give to you. But what have you given to anyone?" Daniel froze. No one had ever asked him that. I have nothing to give," he stammered. The man nodded and replied, "If you believe you have nothing to give, then you also have nothing to receive." Life is about exchange. If you want the world to give you something, first find something of value to offer. Only then will you see abundance flow to you. Before Daniel could respond, the man smiled politely, wished him well, and disappeared into the crowd. For the rest of the day, Daniel couldn't get those words out of his head. What do I have to give? He thought all night. The next day, he sat quietly instead of begging. The third day, something caught his eye. Near the terminal wall, a row of bright, fresh flowers had bloomed. Their colors were so cheerful that people passing by were smiling just by looking at them. Suddenly, Daniel had an idea. The next morning, he woke up early, carefully picked a handful of those flowers, and placed them in a small paper cup beside him. Whenever someone dropped a coin into his tin, he gave them a flower in return with a warm smile. To his surprise, people seemed delighted. They not only gave him money, but also thanked him for the flowers. Some even returned the next day to give him more. Within a few weeks, Daniel noticed something. When he had flowers to offer, people gave generously. When he didn't, the coins slowed down. So that businessman was right, Daniel thought. People are happy to give if you offer something in return. Months passed, and Daniel's little flower exchange became popular. He started collecting more flowers, arranging them neatly, and selling them instead of just waiting for donations. One afternoon, while he was busy arranging his flowers, the same businessman appeared again. Daniel's face lit up. "Sir, do you remember me?" he asked. The man smiled. "Yes, I do. I see you're no longer just asking for coins." Daniel proudly held out a bouquet. "Today, I'm not asking for anything. I'm selling these flowers. If you buy them, I'll give you my best ones." The man bought a bouquet, smiled, and said, "You've learned one of life's most powerful lessons. We only truly receive when we first decide to give. You're no longer a beggar. You're a businessman." Now Daniel's heart swelled with pride. That single conversation had transformed his life. 6 months later, Daniel was running a small but thriving flower stall near the bus terminal. One day, the businessman stopped by again, surprised to see Daniel's stall beautifully decorated with colorful flowers. "Wow," the man said. "You've really come a long way." Daniel grinned. "Yes, sir. That one sentence you spoke to me changed my destiny. I now know that my thoughts shape my reality. I stopped seeing myself as a helpless beggar and started thinking like a provider, a trader. And life rewarded me for it." The businessman shook his hand firmly. "Never forget this, Daniel. Your thoughts are the seeds. Your actions are the water. Together, they grow the life you dream of." As the man left, Daniel looked at his flower stall, the smiling customers, and the busy terminal around him. He whispered to himself, "I was never truly poor. I just needed to see my own value." And that day, Daniel promised that he would never think small about himself again. If Daniel's story inspired you, give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs a little push today, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss stories that can change your mindset and your future. Remember, your thoughts create your reality, so choose them wisely.